A while back I asked you guys to ask me some questions in the community tab, whether it be about trophy hunting, gaming, or myself in general, just to get to know a little bit more about me, the man behind Crimson Purgatory. And when I looked at these questions, I saw quite a lot of them were actually really good, and rather than just like talking about them and answering them in the community tab, I thought, hey, why don't I do some videos on these? Because some of them could be actually really good topics. And that's leading us into our first one here, from my very good friend, his homie one, who's also known as Ray in the community, and he asked me, what are some of my more unpopular opinions around trophy hunting as a whole? It's a very dicey question, Ray, very dicey. He did ask two questions, mind you, and I will answer the second one in a different video. But yes, this one's a very dicey question, very trepidatious topic to start with, but I'll take on that challenge. Let's see. Let's find out what some of my unpopular opinions are, shall we? Now, the way I'm going to approach this is, I'm going to have some of my more tame ones here towards the start, and we're going to drive on down up to my more unpopular ones, the more juicy ones that are really going to turn some heads. And I can't think of anywhere better to start for some of you new guys out there than you have absolutely nothing to prove to anyone. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, obviously, there's a lot of trophy hunters out there, and a lot of them are very opinionated. We are one of the most opinionated and judgmental communities out there, just in gaming as a whole. Like, we are all very judgmental. And that can actually impact people a lot. A lot of people will think, oh, well, everyone says that Bloodborne's amazing and everyone should play it. But you know what? If you don't like Souls games, then you're not going to like to play it, and you shouldn't force yourself to play it unless you're trying to challenge yourself outside of your comfort zone. But if you really don't like it, you shouldn't just play it just because of other people's opinions. You have nothing to prove. If you want to play platformer games all your life, only play platformer games. If you only want to play strategy games, only play strategy games. If you only want to play RPGs, only play RPGs. It doesn't matter if you're not playing like all the latest PlayStation exclusives, or if you're not playing all the top games in the world. You're playing what you enjoy. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Have fun. That's what gaming's supposed to be about. And trophy hunting is just a hobby. Remember that. Now, my next point could be heavily debated on whether or not it's unpopular or not, and that's simply that completion percentage doesn't mean anything. Unless, of course, you're a diehard completionist. I have a friend in the community who is one of these diehard completionists, and he constantly tells me how much he has to plan and look into games, how he needs to ask people how they find their trophy experiences before they even consider touching a game. For instance, I've spoke to him about Binding of Isaac, and he questions whether or not he'd ever play it because he doesn't know if he'd ever actually be able to 100% the game. And that automatically is locking out a game for him just because of the mentality of being a 100% completionist. Now, mind you, being a completionist, you can still determine your value outside of 100. What I mean is, you can very well say that completionism to you is maintaining a 75% profile or 60% profile. I wouldn't go 50 or lower, mind you, because that's where people start to question, are you really a completionist at that end of the day when you're like dodging half of your games? But again, it's all up to you at the end of the day, what level of completionism that you want to achieve. And sometimes my friend really does wish he wasn't one, because there's so many games he could sit out and play and enjoy, but he's spent so many years at it now that it just feels like if he stopped now, that it would be just a waste. But honestly, I take my hat off to him, because some of the games he's pushed himself through, really difficult, and the ones that people would walk away from in terms of difficulty. Which leads me perfectly into my next point. If you don't like a game, do not, under any circumstances, force yourself to platinum that game. Why do I say this? I shouldn't even need to explain this. If you don't like a game, why play it?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Honestly, tell me why, right now in the comments, why you would play a game that you don't like, outside of wanting to get those pixels. Platinums really don't mean much in the grand scheme of things. If you really don't enjoy a game, then don't platinum it. Walk away from the game, give up on the game. You're only going to sour your mood and turn gaming into something that's unenjoyable for yourself if all you play is games that you don't enjoy just to get platinum trophies, or just trophies in general. I've lost count of the amount of times where in the past I actually did play some games that I really didn't enjoy. I pushed and pushed myself to get to that platinum trophy, and at the end of the day I turned back and was, why did I do that? I did not enjoy this experience, and it's really annoyed me and soured my mood, and I can't really enjoy the next game I want to play because I'm in such a bad mood. I've even known people that have even took a complete break from gaming because it just affected them that much. Platinums are not worth it at the end of the day if you're not enjoying yourself. Only platinum games that you enjoy or enjoy enough that you want to challenge yourself to getting the platinum. If you don't enjoy it, stop, decease, and stop playing the game. Now that last point leads me perfectly into my next one. There is no shame in admitting defeat to a game or taking a break from it. If a game is difficult enough that it is causing you stress, anger, anxiety, insert your bad term here, then perfectly honestly, you should be taking a break. You should step away. Maybe you should stop it altogether, but there's nothing wrong with just stepping away, taking a break. A perfect example of this for me is Wolfenstein 2 with mine leaving. I still haven't achieved that, but whenever I was doing it, I was like getting so stressed out and annoyed with myself at some of the mistakes I was making. I was making even more mistakes, even stupider mistakes I'd never made before, to the point where I knew, right, I need to stop, I need to take a break. It's the month of December. I should not be getting annoyed at this time. It's nearly Christmas. I need to stop. This did have the detrimental effect, mind you, that I've lost a lot of my skill ability with the games, especially considering I'm not the best with first-person shooters already. So when I go back to that, it's a lot harder for me now. But if I'd kept going on, I think I would have drove myself completely insane and ultimately would have given up and abandoned the game, which is admitting defeat. But I don't think I need to admit defeat with this one because I do think I can conquer it. But there are games out there like Super Meat Boy, for instance, and if I ever played that, I'd admit defeat no problem. And there's no shame in it. If anyone ever tries to put you down for giving up a game, it doesn't even have to be one of these like 9, 10 out of 10 games. If Bloodborne, for instance, was something outside of your forte and you couldn't platinum it and you admitted defeat with it, there's no shame in that. If anyone ever shames you for it, walk away from them and they're not worth your time because we're all different. Now, this next point is one that's very personal to myself, and that is that there is nothing wrong with having to do multiple playthroughs for a platinum. I hear time and time and time again people complaining about the amount of playthroughs you need to put through to get through a game's platinum. For instance, like Persona, everyone tries to write guides where they do everything in a single playthrough so that they don't have to go into like New Game Plus. I don't understand that mentality because for me, I have a philosophy that every game you do your first playthrough completely blind. Don't look at the guide, don't look at anything up, you just sit down, you play the game, that's it. You have your vanilla experience to see if it's one, something that you'll enjoy, and two, something that you want to plot. I think every game you should decide whether you want to plot based off of your enjoyment, as should be obvious from what I've been saying so far. And if a game's going to require 2-3 playthroughs, that's fine. You can take a break, like I just said earlier on. There's nothing wrong with taking a break, unless it's going to dramatically impact your skill level. But like an RPG, for instance, you can do a playthrough, take a break, come back and do another playthrough. But I never see the sense behind people looking up guides to try to do so much in a single playthrough. Are you really having fun with your games at this point? Are you really even playing the games, or are you just hunting for these digital accolades? The whole point of some of these games being as long as they are is for you to go through them multiple times, experience different branching paths, experience different elements, maybe even play them a completely different way than you played to before. But I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy.
Are you serious?
And honestly, I must also be crazy on this next point because I'd say that 100 plus hour platinums and games honestly should not be in the minority. There should be a lot more of them out there. And a lot of people would disagree with me on that one. A lot of people, again, going back to that multiple playthroughs, a lot of those games will have 100 plus hour games. It's mostly in the JRPG franchise, mind you, but I do think it should start branching out to other genres because there definitely is elements that you could do that out there. A lot of people would disagree, mind you, but there is a certain way of doing things. Games are becoming more expensive these days, more and more expensive. We're very close to another increase in the prices from PlayStation. We've already had it from Xbox and Nintendo, so PlayStation will follow suit very soon, I'm sure. And if you're going to be paying £80 or $80 or $100, because, you know, money's different no matter where you are in the world, but if you're going to be paying a lot of money for a game and it's platinum and game can be completed within 20 to 30 hours, are you really spending your money smart? Like, are you being smart with your finances? I don't think so. Whereas personally, I feel if I'm spending the same kind of money on a game that has 100+ hours worth of content plus the platinum, I've made my value up there because I paid big money, but I have a game I can spend a lot of time playing and a lot of time getting the platinum on. So I've kind of made that money back. But again, maybe I'm crazy. I really love JRPGs, as you can see with the game behind me of Trails of Cold Steel. And they can do things really intelligently, changing things up in New Game Plus, having you have different branching paths, different people to romance, different characters you may meet, and more lore to be discovered in that New Game Plus run. I don't, however, think the games should have packs and packs of collectibles and things like that pushed on them just to increase the playtime. So please do keep in mind, as long as it's done intelligently, that's what I mean when I say I want more 100+ hour plats. Now we finally got to the part of the list where the more controversial, unpopular opinions are starting to show up. Ones that will really start to turn heads. This next one I'm going to try to be short and sweet with and very brief because there is the potential to hurt people's feelings with this, and that's not the intention of this video. These are just my opinions. But everyone knows PSN profiles. I don't really use it as much these days. I more use Pocket PSN. I think it's a more superior website. Honestly, maybe take a wee look at it because it has an app and everything, which we've been asking for years. But moving away from advertising for Pocket PSN, both of those websites and other trophy hunting websites have something in common. And you're probably already guessing what I'm going to mention. Leaderboards, first achievers, and fastest achievers. I personally think these mean absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. Now, this is not to like completely unacknowledge the feeling that you guys out there get. There's obviously speedrunners out there, which is a separate community, which I've never agreed with these two communities becoming one on the trophy hunting websites because they are very different mentalities. But I don't judge them either way. They go out of their way to exploit games to try and get them done faster and glitch them to do speedruns as fast as possible. So really getting on that board, unless you are an actual speedrunner, you're not really likely to be up on the first achievers unless you're lucky enough to get early access to games and things like that. First achievers, it means nothing. Most of you have speedrun through the game, probably skipped half the content, and couldn't even tell me what happened in the game if I sat down and asked you about it. And leaderboards. Do I need to say anything about that? The amount of people that just play trashware and shovelware games or just auto-pop games galore on stacks upon stacks upon stacks just to get up on the leaderboards, it means nothing. These things aren't managed properly, and because of that, there's no point you put many stock in them because you're never really going to be high up unless you turn your gaming experience into something that is, quite frankly, very unenjoyable. But hey, you do you. This next opinion is quite controversial and a lot of people won't agree with it, but it's important to people like myself, Vaultboy Steve, and even Ray who asked this question. Difficult platinums are good for the community and we should have more of them. Now, a lot of people are probably already like arguing and thinking, what are you talking about? We don't need difficult games. Hear me out, hear me out. Listen, difficult games can challenge people. There's this subpart of the community that enjoy challenging themselves. If you're not part of that, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that our opinions mean any less than yours do. There should be plenty of those kind of games out there for us to challenge ourselves to be able to like take on different challenges, to put ourselves out of our breadth of depth, like I did with Mein Leben. I'm really going out of my depth with that because I'm not a big shooter guy, but I'm doing it to try and get that platinum. And there's other ones out there. Mind you, there's so many out there that exploit these games and act as if they have the same form of achievement as people who do them legitimately. These are different things. If you've done the game legitimately, then that sense of achievement you're feeling, amazing. It's great. You really feel like you've achieved something, and it's a platinum that you tend to become proud of. You may look back on it in a lot of frustration, but you'll be proud of that platinum and proud that you overcame the hurdles. If you exploited it, you've no right to be proud of it because you've cheated probably the hardest parts of the games, depending on what the game is. Hollow Knight, for example. But I know there's a lot of you out there that enjoy your easygoing games, and unfortunately, the harder games are becoming rarer and rarer, and even some remakes are becoming easier than the originals, which is unacceptable. Silent Hill 2 Remake is the perfect example of that. The original game was a 9 out of 10 difficulty, and the remake I think is like a 5, if not lower. They stripped out so much of the game that made it hard, and I am sick and tired of this aspect of gaming, that all these remakes are coming out, and that we need to make it so inclusive for people that just don't have the ability to do hard games. I've stressed already, there's nothing wrong with admitting defeat or walking away. Why should our games be made easier? Why should remakes be made easier just because people can't obtain them? And you know what? This leads me perfectly to the next point, which I can already hear the outcries before I say it. Not every platinum should be obtainable by everyone. Yes, I said it.
What? What the fuck?
I can already hear you all getting ready to break down my door with your pitchforks and your torches, but it's my opinion. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one out there who would say it. If we were all the same, like I said earlier on, life would be extremely boring. You can't tell me that you'd find any fulfillment in life if every single human being on the planet was the same as you, had the same opinions as you, had the same skill set as you, and could do everything that you could do. So why does it need to be the same in gaming? Why can't there be games out there that, you know what, you can't achieve? It's outside your skill gap, and maybe someday you'll get there, but right now it's outside your skill gap, but you can't get it. I hate the fact that exploits, glitches, and all these little ways of getting around a game's difficulty are found to obtain platinums that you otherwise wouldn't be able to obtain without them. Yeah, this is probably one of my more passionate ones, and yeah, there's probably a lot of people out there who are maybe taking a little bit of offense to this, but look, you do you. I'm allowed my opinion, and my opinion is that these games don't need to be obtainable by everyone, and that's okay. And you should feel that that's okay. If there's a game you can't do, like I said, walk away, take a break, do something else, play a game you do enjoy. Outside of unobtainables, you're never gonna get every platinum. So it's realistic to say that not every game should be obtainable skill-wise to everyone. Now these last 2 points that I'm gonna bring up are pretty much interlinked with each other. I'm trying to calm myself down a bit because I really got a bit passionate during those last ones. So here we go. The last two are coming up now. And again, a lot of people are probably going to turn heads with these ones. Getting the platinum or the 100% on a game doesn't mean you should stop playing the game. Now there's games out there like the Radalaikas, and I think there's a couple of examples out there in the indie, AA, AAA space where you can get the platinum or 100% on the game without having ever completed the game. I do not think you should be doing that, and it's just wrong. You should be playing a game to completion, unless you don't enjoy it. Going back to my earlier point, if you don't enjoy it, that's perfectly fine. But if you're just playing through it for the trophies and you're just doing whatever needs to be done and then you're walking away, what is the point? If you're enjoying the game and you're stopping just because you've got all those digital accolades, what's the point? Why not finish the game? Finish the story. I'm not saying you have to go back and play it again after that. I mean, it'd be great if you did, because replayability is a very big aspect in video gaming, and a lot of people seem to be forgetting about that. A lot of people. Like, it's seeming to become almost unknown that replayability is important these days. But again, I need to stop myself getting too passionate here, but if you like a game, play it through completion. Do not just play games for the trophies, because, and this leads into my next one, just because you're a trophy hunter doesn't mean you're a gamer.
No. Wait.
If you're one of those people that doesn't complete a game and just plays through it, gets those trophies, and then moves on, guess what? You're not a gamer, in my opinion. But I also see it as a fact you're not a gamer. Gamers are passionate about video games. They're passionate about the development of video games. They're passionate about the future of video games. They've played games before trophies, achievements, whatever your accolade is, and they will play them long after they're gone, because I do believe they will go someday. Maybe not in my time, maybe not in your time, but someday they will be gone. And guess what? People will still be playing games. Those are gamers. But ask yourself, are you one of them? Or are you someone that will not ever touch a game because it doesn't have trophies, won't play a game because it doesn't have a platinum, or will stop playing the game after you've got all those trophies? If you've said yes to any of those three, then I'm sorry. You're not a gamer. You're a trophy hunter. Pure and simple. You may take offense to that, but it's my opinion. And personally, a lot of people have that opinion out there, and they're just too afraid to say it. But I'm not.
Let's put a smile on that face. And why so serious?
Things got a wee bit passionate there towards the end, didn't they, guys? Well, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching this video, hopefully all the way through. Please do consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already done so, and check that bell just to make sure it's set to all notifications, because YouTube does like to change that annoyingly. And if you have any unpopular opinions of your own that you'd like to share, drop them down in the comment section down below. But also, if you've got any questions that you'd like me to address in a video format, please do also put them down in the comment section. There'll be plenty more of these to come and plenty of opportunities for you to do so. But go on ahead and I will get to you once I get a chance. Thanks guys very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your days.